Before we get to Act 5, we want to say thank you to everyone for watching our very first virtual production. We're so thankful for your support.
Theater is only theater with an audience, and although we couldn't be in the same space as you all, your viewership made our hard work all the more worth it. So thank you.
Thanks, as always, to the Emerald Ridge staff members who helped spread the word about auditions and helped us to promote the show.
We'd like to say an extra special thanks to Mrs. McCrill, not only for her help organizing and distributing scripts, shirts, posters, but for her overall enthusiasm for this production.
And another extra special thanks to the equally enthusiastic and helpful Mrs. Ingleking for her help purchasing shirts and paying for ASB cards.
We appreciate both of you so much and couldn't have done this production, or any production really, without your help.
Thanks as well to Mike Tavern, Papa Tav, for all of the work he did to get the various music tracks recorded.
Shout out as well to Papa Tav's recording assistant, Leela.
And now, on with the show.
Spoiler alert, everything is going to work out. It is a comedy after all.
Enjoy Act 5!
Still disguised as the young man Ganymede, Rosalind convinces Orlando to woo her as if she was actually Rosalind, which she actually is. After a bit of flirtation, Orlando leaves to attend the Duchess, promising to return in 2 hours' time. During those hours, Sylvia brings a love letter from Phoebe to Ganymede. She is smitten with him. Orlando is late in returning, and, instead, a mysterious man arrives with a tale of peril and a handkerchief stained with blood. This mystery man turns out to be Oliver, Orlando's brother. The blood is Orlando's, from a wound sustained while saving Oliver from a lioness attack. Ganymede, Rosalind, faints at the thought of harm being done to Orlando. Once Ganymede is revived, Oliver takes him, her, and Aliena, Celia, to the Duchess's camp to see Orlando. Still on a quest to marry, Audrey and Touchstone the Fool enter.
We shall find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for all the old gentlemen sang.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, Audrey, a most vile Martest. But, Audrey, there's a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who 'tis. He hath no interest in me in the world.
William enters.
Here comes the man you mean.
It is meat and drink to me to see it clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
God give good evening, William.
And good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, gentle friends. Cover thy head, cover thy head. Nay, prithee, be hovered. How old are you, friends?
5 and 20, sir.
A ripe age. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
A fair name. Wast born in the forest here?
Aye, sir. I thank God.
Thank God. A good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir. So-so.
So-so is good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so-so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember saying, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man know himself to be a fool. The heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, would open his lips when he put it into his mouth, meaning thereby that grapes were made to eat and lips to open. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hands. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure in rhetoric that drink, being poured out of a cup into a glass, by filing the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that Ips is he. Now you are not Ips, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar leave the society, which in the boorish is company of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest, or to thy better understanding, diest. Or to wit, I kill thee, mate thee away, translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will deal in poison with thee, or in bastinado, or in steel. I will bandy thee with faction. I will overrun thee with policy. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore, tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest you merry, sir.
William scuttles out as Corinna enters.
Our master and mistress seeks you. Come away, away.
Trip, Audrey, trip, Audrey. I attend, I attend.
At the Duchess' encampment, Orlando and Oliver enter, Orlando with his injured arm in a sling.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? That but seeing you should love her? And loving woo? And wooing she should grant? And will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, this small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting. But say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent with both that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good, for my father's house, and all the revenue that was old Sir Rowland's will I estate upon you, and here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duchess and all her contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena, for look you, here comes my Rosalind.
Oliver acknowledges Rosalind, still disguised as Ganymede, as she approaches Orlando.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never anything so sudden but the fight of two rams, and Caesar's Thrasonical brag of I came, saw, and overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met but they looked, no sooner looked but they loved, no sooner loved but they sighed, no sooner sighed but they asked one another the reason, no sooner knew the reason but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
I shall be married tomorrow, and I will bid the Duchess to the nuptial. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By so much, the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness, by how much shall think my brother happy in living what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this that you should bear a good opinion of my knowledge, insomuch I say I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem than may in some little measure draw belief from you to do yourself good, and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind, so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array, and bid your friends. For if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind if you will.
Phoebe enters, followed closely by the devoted Sylvia.
Look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon her, love her. She worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so I am for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service, and so I am for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance, and so I am for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
So am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, Ganymede, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, Phoebe, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, Rosalind, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak too? Rosalind, why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. Tomorrow meet me all together. Sylvia, I will help you if I can. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Phoebe, meet. And Phoebe, I would love you if I could. I will marry you if ever I marry woman, and I'll be married tomorrow. As you love this kind before you, meet. Orlando, I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So fare you well. I have left you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
The next day, still in the encampment, Duchess Major speaks with Orlando and Oliver.
Such tales you tell, lords of the Du Bois line, of exploits and encounters here in fair Arden, a forest of mystery and happenstance. Indeed, these woods do prove.
Verily, kind Duchess, 'tis more than I expected when sought I my brother hither. To be restored to good favor and happen upon love 'twas not my procedure.
Had I foreseen as much, dear Oliver, I should have thought myself dim or fanciful, or both.
Never imagined I such an accord between me and my once tyrant brother. And happy am I for your newfound treasure. Thus far, treasure is not mine to recover from me. Love has only been imitation.
Fret not. Young Orlando, have you not learned? A precept for us all there is hence. Expectation is changeable when fortune intervenes.
Touchstone and Audrey approach.
Fortune doth smile upon us now, if fool your fortune favor.
Here are a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Peace, thou songster, Yon fool is mine to make introduction.
Touchstone and Audrey enter holding hands. They bow before the Duchess.
Salutation and greetings to you all.
Good my lady, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman that I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I've trod a measure, I've flattered a lady, I've been politic with my friends, smooth with mine enemy. I've undone 3 tailors, I've had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought one.
And how was that ta'en up?
Faith, we met and found the quarrels upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good my lady, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
God ode you, milady. I desire you of the like. I press in here, milady, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, milady, an ill-favoured thing, milady, but mine own. A poor humour of mine, milady, to take that no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, milady, in a poor house, as your pearl is your foul oyster.
By my faith, Jacques, he is very swift and sententious.
According to the fool's boats, milady, and such dulcet diseases.
But for the 7th cause, how did you find the quarrel on the 7th cause?
Upon a lie 7 times removed. Bear your body more seeming, Audrey. As thus, I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word if I said his beard was not well cut. He was in the mind it was. This is called the retort courteous. If I sent him word again it was not well cut, he would send me word he cut it to please himself. This is called the whip modest. If again it was not well cut, he disabled my judgments. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would answer I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. If again it was not well cut, he would say I lie. This is called the countercheck quarrelsome, and so to the lie circumstantial and the lie duet.
And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut?
I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, nor he durst not give me the lie direct, and so we measured swords and parted.
Can you nominate in order now the degrees of the lie?
Oh, sir, we quarrel in prince by the book, as you have books for good manners. I will name you the degrees. The first, the retort courteous, the second, the whip modest, the third, the reply churlish, the fourth, the reproof valiant, the fifth, the countercheck quarrelsome, the sixth, the lie with circumstance, the seventh, the lie direct. All these you may avoid but the lie direct, and you may avoid that too with an if. I knew when 7 justices could not take it but quarrel, but when the parties were met themselves, one of them thought but of an if, as, if you said so, then I said so. And they shook hands and swore brothers. Your if is the only peacemaker. Much virtue in if.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lady? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and under the presentation of that he shoots his wit. 'Tis wonder to see he that thou hast encountered, O melancholy Jacques. In Orlando, what of the young sire that thou hast met, the one whom you visit with such frequency?
Good, my lady. When last I saw Master Ganymede, he made promise that he would visit our camp today. Furthermore, that promise included that he would conjure up your daughter, my love, fair Rosalind, that we may marry.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. As those that fear, they hope and know they fear.
Oh, that I hope against hope he can do so, for your sake as well as my own.
trust all that the youth can do as he saith.
To think of it, I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
You hit the mark closer than you can know.
Agreed, my lady. The first time that I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But, my good lady, this boy is forest-born, and hath been tutored in the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in the circle of this forest.
Still, something true doth ring in him.
And as we speak of young Ganymede, he comes here now.
Rosalind, still disguised as Ganymede, enters with Sylvia, Phoebe, and Corinna in tow.
Welcome, Master Ganymede. Thou art most welcome in these confines.
Fair and noble Duchess, I thank you. Let us to business straight out. You say, my lady, if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here?
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you, Orlando, say you will have her when I bring her?
That would I, were I of all kingdoms king.
And Phoebe, you say you'll marry me should I woman wed?
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if I do not marry woman, you'll give yourself to the most faithful Sylvia?
So is the bargain.
You say, Sylvia, that you'll have Phoebe if she will?
Though to have her and death were both one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep your word, O Duchess, to give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, to receive her daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, should woman not be my fancy, to wed the shepherd. You yours, Sylvia, that you'll marry her if she have you. And now to make all these doubts even. Courage, good sister Aliena. The time is upon us.
Rosalind removes her hat and lets down her hair. No longer Ganymede, now her true self.
Doth mine eyes deceive me?
Good Duchess, receive thy daughter, that thou mightst join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is. Mother and Duchess, to you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
My fair Orlando, to you I give myself, for I am, as I have always been, were I called Ganymede, or called now as I am, Rosalind, yours.
There be truth in sight. You are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, I understand my love anew.
Then there is mirth in heaven when earthly things made even atone together. To it then, good sister, or shall I say, good cousin?
Celia now lets down her hair. No longer is she Aliena.
Seest I before me my once Aliena, now revealed to be Duke Frederick's own daughter?
'Tis true, dear Oliver, but a different name and fortune does not the difference make in my affection and devotion to thee. I am thine with all my heart.
And I am thine.
Oh, Celia, my dear niece, welcome thou art to me. Even daughter, welcome in no less degree.
Come all, time has come to make good on all promises. Duchess, I'll have no mother if you be not she. I'll have no husband, Orlando, if you be not he. Nor Phoebe, ne'er wed woman, if you be not she. Mistress Corinna, as eldest in these parts, administer the rites. Join our hearts.
Peace and thanks amidst confusion. 'Tis I will make conclusion of these most strange events. Here's 8 that must take hands to join in true love's bands, if truth holds true contents. Rosalind and Orlando, you and you no cross shall part.
No jewel is like fair Rosalind.
And no poet like Orlando.
Celia and Oliver, you and you are heart and heart.
Quick did love start upon us.
Long shall we belong one to another.
Phoebe, and in turn Sylvia, to your heart you must accord, and have woman where once was lord.
Sylvia, long hast thou fancied me, but scorned and scoffed at you did I. With clarity now that I see thine love is true, no matter thy sex or mine own, I uphold my vow and do so gladly. This forest my home hath taught me of late, of love that presents an unexpected state. Now and evermore, thou art mine.
Thy faith, my devotion, doth combine.
Touchstone and Audrey, you are sure together as the winter to foul weather.
The long wait at last doth end.
Perhaps, our love, your wits will mend.
Whilst this wedlock praise we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met and these things finish.
Glad I am of all this mirth and good joy. Blessings on us all today and forthcoming.
Adele and Sir Oliver Martext enter.
Kind and noble Duchess, let us have the audience for a word or two. I bring these tidings to this fair assembly, tidings shared with me by this Sir Oliver Martext, vicar of the nearest village. His word is true, and he most trustworthy indeed.
Speak on, Sir Oliver.
My tale, kind Duchess. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day those of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot in his own caduc, purposely to take his sister here and put her to the sword. Into the skirts of this wild wood he came.
Where, meeting this religious man, after some question with him, was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world, his station bequeathing to his banished sister, and all their lands restored to them again, that were with her exiled. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Oh, happy duo! Your tidings do warm my heart. Adele, thou offerest fairly to thy master's wedding, to one his lands withheld, and to the other a land itself at large, a potent dukedom.
Good Adele, kind clergy, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court?
He hath.
Indeed.
To him will I. Out of these convertites there is much matter to be heard and learned. Fair Duchess, you to your former honor I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue well deserves it. You, Orlando, to a love that your true faith doth merit. Oliver, to your land, and love, and great allies. Sylvia, to a long and well-deserved bed. And you, my fool, to wrangling, for thy loving voyage is but for 2 months victualled. So to your pleasures. I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay. Jacques, stay.
To see no pastime I. What you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned cave.
Jacques exits hurriedly to find the former Duke, as Duchess Major addresses the newlyweds.
First, in this forest let us do those ends that here were well begun and well begot. And, after, every of this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share the good of our returned fortune according to the measure of their states. Meantime, forget this new-fallen dignity and fall into our rustic revelry. Play, music, and you brides, and bridegrooms all, with measured heap and joy to the measures fall. Proceed, proceed, we'll begin these rites, as we do trust they'll end in true delights.
And, as this is a Shakespearean comedy, all dance as they exit. All but Rosalind, who, alone on stage, addresses the audience.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better by the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in, then, that am neither a good epilogue, nor cannot insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play? I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you. I charge you, good listeners, for the love you bear another, to like as much of this play as please you. And propose I further, gentle citizens, for the affection you set forth a lover, as I perceive by your simpering, none of you hates them, that between you and your beloved the play may please. Were I not bound up by this fair stage, I would join hands with you that would have me, make merry with those of my station, and prattle on with numbers who would listen. And as I am sure as many would join hands, make merry, or prattle on will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.
Thanks for tuning in to our virtual production of Shakespeare's As You Like It.
If you would like to support Emerald Ridge Theater, here's how you can donate.
To donate via credit card, head over to www.easyschoolpay.com. Click the guest sign-in and find Puyallup School District in the list of districts.
Once you're on the Puyallup School District page, you'll see ERHS Theater Donation. Click on that and follow the steps.
For check or cash, send your donation to Emerald Ridge High School, 12405 184th Street East, Puyallup, Washington, 98374.
Please specify ERHS theater donation on the memo line.
We appreciate anything you can give as it helps us continue to produce shows in the future.
And if you're not in a spot where you can donate right now, we certainly understand that, and we're thankful you watched our production.
We're making plans for future shows, so be on the lookout for announcements about senior-directed pieces and our spring production.
Thank
you.